Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's spirit guide reading. For the spirit guide reading, we're going to be working with a couple different decks. I'm going to really pull from Wisdom of the House of Night. I really like this one for spirit guide messages. I think this one can be super intuitive. I'm going to be working with the Golden Rider Tarot. And let's pull from my beautiful Oracle of Oddities. And I also have a couple other decks sitting around here, but if I feel called to pull from them, I will. So my client didn't have any specific, let's pull from Universal Messages also. My client did not have any specific questions. They just want to know what their spirit guide has to say to them, like any messages. So let me, what I like to do is we'll shuffle and, anything that pops out, I will say. But I will say that because what I like to do is feel out if it's male or female. I do feel it's going to be a male. So I feel like we all have many, guides or animal guides or, spirit or angels or past loved ones around us. But I feel like a particular one for you is male. So I'm getting that male energy feel. And I'm going to pull cards to kind of give you an idea of what they're energetically like. Because if you've never connected with a spirit guide, this will give you something to start with. So if you have a visual, it's often easier for you to kind of envision them. And oftentimes your spirit guide will reveal themselves to you in a way that you can identify. So if you've had this weird obsession with a certain animal, like you have a favorite animal or you constantly see a certain animal around you, that could be a sign that your spirit guide is around you. As I'm doing your reading, I can hear the wind chimes outside. I have my window open and I can hear them going off. And usually I tune that out when I'm doing readings, but for some reason they feel super loud right now. So I am also taking that as a sign that your spirit guide speaks to you through either wind chimes or they speak to you through sound. Okay, we can take it literal as they speak to you through sound. They speak to you through wind chimes or bells. Okay, let's see. So, and it's funny because as I said that, the wind chime stopped. So just keep in mind, anything and everything can be a sign. Anything that you feel. So if you are meditating and you're trying to connect with your guide, if you are getting a visual, if you are getting a feeling, a smell, you see a certain animal or you see anything, whatever comes to mind, you have to trust that stuff because the messages can be so subtle. And so that's what I really want to express to you because I feel like you look too deep into it. I feel like you have to see it point blank in front of you, and it doesn't always work that way. At least that's what my intuition is telling me. Okay. 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, the Hierophant and the Hermit. Okay, so either you've had a past, and it's really funny that the Hierophant came up because I was thinking before I even said it, but I was thinking the wind chimes could also be like bells at a church. And the fact that the Hierophant came up is telling me that perhaps maybe your path, you grew up in the church, you grew up being super religious and maybe you strayed away from it, or religion can be a reason why I was feeling like it's hard for you to connect. Maybe, you have to physically see it. Maybe it's hard for you to have faith in that kind of stuff. let's see. We have release. We have the solar plexus chakra and dreams. Okay, so I pulled a lot of cards out because I feel like this just helps me focus. Details, awareness, detox, acceptance. I really feel like you were going through a spiritual battle, okay? I feel like your spirit guide wants you to know that if you are feeling uneasy about your path, and it may be because you're unsure if you're doing the right thing, that you need to go through some sort of a detox, some sort of a cleanse, okay? Because the detox card comes up right here, and it's underneath awareness. And the detail, which is telling me that you don't always see the message, okay? You don't always see the details in the message because you're so like fogged over with, well, what if it's this, or what if it's just that, or what if it's just my mind, or you second guess yourself, okay? The fact alone that you didn't ask a question for your reading, it kind of says a lot too, because it says that you're very open, but it's like you're almost afraid of asking the wrong question, so you just want to see what would come up, okay? Then we have acceptance card. And this is big too, because I feel like maybe you struggle with that. Maybe you struggle with feeling accepted in your path, or you feel like the people will not accept you for the things that you believe in. That Hierophant card is just really speaking to me. And same with the Hermit. He came up too. Perhaps you spend a lot of time alone, or your spiritual journey is alone, okay? The Hermit can also represent your spirit guide, because I did say he feels male to me. So he could be representing himself as a spirit guide, as a hermit. He could be coming up as a religious figure for you. Maybe you feel really tied in or really comforted by a certain spiritual figure, a spiritual religious figure, or an archangel perhaps. You know, that I'm just throwing in all of these possibilities because that's what I'm seeing with the cards. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. To me, it's kind of saying, I feel like you've had false starts with your journey. It's almost like you'll get interested in your spiritual path and then you stop. So it's like you have a lot of like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn about this. I want to do this for myself. And then you stop. Or you get afraid, or you don't have anyone to teach you, or you don't know where you're going or what you're going to do with it. So you just kind of stop it all together. We have choices, summon, and success. So I feel like if you put your mind to your path, your guide is like saying you will be successful. But I feel like they're really displaying that your path is supposed to be solo for a reason. You are not meant to be in some sort of group or coven or whatever, with learning with other people. They want you to be solo, because that's where you're really going to dive in deep with yourself. The dreams card came up. So perhaps you do have a lot of dreams. Maybe you dream lucidly. Your guide will visit you in dreams. The guide is also showing you the solar plexus chakra, which is in your belly. So if you have gut feelings, maybe you get the butterflies in your belly, maybe you get stomach aches if something doesn't feel right to you, you physically will feel stuff. So I feel like that is what your guide is saying, is they're telling you that they almost like they speak to you through your body. They speak to you through your gut. So pay attention to the next time when you have those belly feelings. Like if someone makes you so happy, you might feel excitement, or if someone doesn't rub you the right way, they feel sleazy or whatever, you'll feel a sickness in your belly perhaps. The release card comes up too. I feel like this goes hand in hand with the Hierophant. I think you have a lot of the past to release. I feel like you have a lot of the way that you were raised to let go of in order to let your spiritual journey really grow. So I feel like it almost acts as a block for you. Some of the ways that you were raised, which is, I deal with that too. You're not alone. I have definitely gone through that myself. But I'm seeing a lot of like I don't want to call it inexperience, but I'm seeing a lot of like you are very, very, very fresh in your path, but you don't dig deep. And it's either you haven't dug deep because you were in fear, or because you feel like you have to have that mentor, which is the Hierophant can also be a mentor card. So your spirit guide is kind of saying they are there to teach you, but they can only reveal to you so much if you're not willing to see the signs. So I know I said that earlier in your reading that you will feel the signs, but if you are not if you're not paying attention, or you doubt yourself, or you're doubting what you're receiving, you're not going to feel it. So it all goes hand in hand. There we go. And it's funny because I was shuffling this and like I totally like dented the card. It was like this card wanted to pop out and it just fell out again when I was shuffling. So we'll keep this out for the sake of the reading. I feel like your spirit guide is saying dreams, dreams, dreams. Like they are coming to you in your dreams. And I woke up this morning from a dream. And I wrote it. I have a journal that I write my dreams in. And I don't always keep up with it, but every once in a while I will. So I wrote one today about my dream. So perhaps that's something you should start doing. If you are dreaming lucidly and you wake up and you can somewhat remember it, write it down. Because you never know. You never know what else will come through. Nightmares and separation. And listen. Oh, I love it. So yeah, your spirit guide is basically saying that they do communicate to you in your dreams. You have to separate yourself from your nightmares or your fears. And you really have to listen. You have to listen to the messages that are coming through. That's plain and simple right there. I love that. Okay. Let's look into why you are fearful. I feel like you are fearful because you don't want to do the wrong thing, perhaps. That's coming through. Hope, understanding, deceit. Yeah. Hope and understanding. Maybe that is you having hope that someone will eventually see you or meet you halfway, that they'll actually see you for who you really are. Maybe you have hope that you will be able to understand some of your gifts, or, you know, if you're hiding what you do, maybe you have hope that one day you wouldn't have to do that. The deceit there. Is this deceit on your part, or this is other people? Are you hiding yourself for some reason because you were afraid of being your true you, which I can relate to? Or is this deceit of other people who have hurt you with their words, or who have hurt you with their misunderstandings of what you do? Because we were asking right now with the cards, why do you fear it? What is going on here? We have the High Priestess. We have the King of Pentacles, and the King of Swords, and the King of Cups, and the Five of Swords. These kings can either symbolize certain people in your life. These could be brothers. These could be father figures, friends, a boyfriend, a lover. These could be higher ups in your church. These could be teachers. I mean, they can symbolize different people in your life, but you have three major men or male figures in your life. They can also resemble women. I shouldn't say men because of they're kings, so I apologize for that. But very prominent people in your life, and there's three of them. Perhaps these are the blocks that you have. Maybe these are the reasons why you find it difficult to connect to spirit. or why you find it difficult to truly come out with your spiritual practice. We have the Five of Swords, which is a lot of times people who will leave when you become who you really are. A lot of times that happens to us in our spiritual paths when we really dive into what we love to do and other people just don't. Like, this is the understanding card. If they don't get it, we lose a lot of our friends. You know, people will walk away from us. People won't want to be around us. They just don't feel comfortable. They look at us like we're crazy. They think we're evil. We lose a lot of people that we are very close with. So perhaps these three kings can symbolize friends that have walked away or distanced themselves from you. These could be public figures. These could be, like I said, parents or brothers or whatever. People who you were maybe once close with who are no longer. I love that the High Priestess card came up because I feel like she symbolizes you. I feel like she symbolizes your path. She symbolizes me anytime I see her in readings. The High Priestess is just she's all about embracing your connection to spirit, or embracing your psychic abilities, or embracing your love for what you do, your path, you know. And I feel like when you are in this world, when you're doing this kind of stuff, and you have people who either don't understand it, or maybe you're hiding yourself from these people, there is a major disconnect. There is a boundary there. So I feel like the reading is very specific, and I really, really hope that, you know, this is speaking to you, because it would be very unfortunate if if it's so specific and it doesn't, you know. But that just goes hand in hand with me trusting my intuition, because there wasn't any question asked, so I can go all over the map. That's just what happens. But so that's one thing, you know, that I wanted to look at is your fear. Let's look at what you need to do, since we have some time. Let's look at what you need to do to strengthen your connection with your spirit guide. Because like I said, they speak to you, and I feel like it's through sound. I feel like you hear them. Because I'm telling you, I'm not hearing those wind chimes anymore like I was when I was first pulling on your spirit guide. So to me, that's a sign. But let's see, what do you need to do to connect to them more? And then we'll end your reading. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Oh, I love it. We have Justice, the Five of Swords, and the High Priestess again. So the first thing that you need to do, the High Priestess and the Five of Swords, is saying cut off those people who don't get it. People who are not following your path, people who are giving you bullshit for doing things that they don't understand, people who are judging you, cut them off. I feel like that's what that's saying. The High Priestess is saying, you know, owning your power, and when you tell yourself, I am worthy of my path, and I love what I do, you will be able to connect so much easier. So the next thing I see with the Judgment card, we have the angel who's holding the trumpet, like he's calling out to these people. It's almost like saying you have to be willing to receive the message. So tell your guide, I'm open and I'm ready for you to speak to me. Show me what I need to know. And then pay very close attention for the next few days. What are your dreams like? Because the dream card came up, remember? What are you feeling? What thoughts, what random thoughts come to mind? A lot of times, thoughts that are not controlled by yourself, they just pop in your head when you're randomly, like, especially when you're driving, when you're doing something where you're just kind of zoned out, and then you have this random thought that pops into your mind. Those are like little subtle messages from your guides, or from God, or for whoever, however you want to identify them, that are coming to you, because you are not controlling those thoughts. They just pop into your head for a reason. Is it because they're reminding you of something, or is it because they are kind of preparing you for something that's going to happen later that day, or whatever? We have individuality. I love it. We have risk, and we have listening. That's the second time you got listen. And there's those wind chimes again. So listen to me is saying you really need to open your ears. You need to listen beyond just the sounds around you. Really listen and open yourself up to receiving messages from your guide. The risk card is so powerful because I feel like it's saying you take leaps of faith with your faith. You take leaps of faith with your journey. If you are not supported by people that once used to love and support you, that's okay. Don't let it hinder your own growth. And then I see the individuality, which is so important, because to me that is when you are individual, when you are high priestess, when you are doing what is right for you, that is how you know you are on your path and you're connecting. So you need to do that and you need to trust that. That's a powerful combo right there. And then of course, the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, which is patience, which is aiming forward, always facing forward for the future. Don't look back. And that's how you connect with your guide, my love. It's very easy, and it's not as glamorous as a lot of people think it is. It's very simple, but it's also very easy to miss the message when you're not listening. So with that, my love, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. If you have any questions, please email me, let me know. I wish you all of the best with connecting with your guide. And anyone who's watching, this is the spirit guide reading. Please, if you're interested, click the links below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, my loves.